Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to invite up our pastor for our reading this morning. Please welcome up Pastor Warner Soyber.
Good morning. Happy cold Sunday. 14 degrees. We're living in a difficult period of time, a transitional time, and True Father is addressing it in this quote, which fits very much into our time. There are only two kinds of spiritual phenomena, only two kinds. Those that are caused by God and those that are not. Simple enough, right? That is, we can tell right away that is when we classify spiritual phenomena as good or evil, we have a standard that tells us what a good phenomenon should be like. We should not move forward unless we check the phenomena according to that standard. Every few hundred years or so, a period of great transition or extensive spiritual phenomena comes about. Every few hundred years. When this takes place, a nation either perishes or prospers. If evil spirits are mobilized, it perishes. If good spirits are mobilized, it prospers exceedingly. How could the fortunes of the world get mixed up with all this? It is not a simple thing. Then what is the purpose of these spiritual phenomena or of religion? And here's the answer. The reason heaven stirs up spiritual phenomena in the course of the providence is in the end for the perfection of humankind. Thank you. So this morning we have an action-packed program, our youth program, our youth winter workshop. Participants want to share their testimonies with you. So without further ado, Leo and your friends, come on up. Let's greet them with a round of applause.
You'll just meet me first now. So kind of just introduce myself. I'm Leo Pearson. I'm the youth pastor of this community since October.
Right.
And yeah, this past week before the New Year's, we have our annual winter workshop, and this theme was My Legacy. And I'm gonna kind of run down. I'm not gonna exactly give my exact testimony, but I'm gonna give a rundown so all us parents and everyone here in the community understands what went on and what events went on. And while I talk, we'll have a slideshow. It's really long, so we'll have part of it get played while I'm talking, and then we'll have another part of it, as much as we can get, playing when we're doing tithing. Hopefully it all works out. And yeah, just have it like at low sound, low music volume. And yeah, so going into this workshop, our staff, we've been meeting like since middle of October, 2.5 months out. And what was unique about this workshop was that we connected with Philly. It was a DMV plus Philly workshop, so we really outreached our community for the first time. And unfortunately, we had to do online meetings because of this, because of long distance, but I really feel like we connected as a whole as we completed the workshop. So yeah, so like staff, like we did conditions and meetings to really plan and set the foundation for this workshop. We can turn down a little bit. Okay. And so like, it's kind of in chronological order, but like I said, I'm just here to kind of go over what we did and what the meaning behind it was of what we did. So we try to kick things off, like really to surprise the kids, especially the ones that have never done the winter workshop before. And we call it the outing day. And this outing day is pretty much a day where we leaders go off into a city in Maryland, and we have the kids go through these personal objectives, team objectives, and a lot of fundraising, so we can raise money to
support their homestay. So actually the big challenge that all the kids kind of feared is making enough money so we can get a hotel and stay. Luckily all the teams made it out. Some struggled more than others. My team personally, we only did 2 runs and made over $400, so that was really good on their part, just bragging a little bit there. But anyway, so during these outing days, like I said, these personal objectives they have usually involve coming out of their comfort zone. We wanted them to prepare themselves to really embrace their fears. And kind of even before coming into the workshop, I had a scholarship opportunity for the Virginia community. We had 2 people do it, June and Winston. And one of the activities we did kind of involved overcoming your fears, like approaching a stranger and giving them a request that they know they will completely reject. Like something as silly as like borrowing $100 or like asking for their car keys. Like it's something that we don't really think about doing. It's something that we fear like we don't want to talk to because it's a ridiculous request. But other requests aside from that is like you'd be surprised how willing people are, how strangers are so willing to accept an open heart. And that's kind of like the outing day objective is just like for everyone to kind of open their hearts and not fear rejection, not fear that they're not going to be comforted if they're not coming into the workshop. And so fast forwarding, we had, like I said, the theme was My Legacy, so we had many talks the second day. So it was a bit of a boring day for the kids, but we had talks kind of quoting from many important speakers like MLK, Mother Teresa, even Michelle Obama. And one activity we did was we had everyone present themselves, practice public speaking, and giving a speech from these famous figures to really understand what it takes for them to leave a legacy, because obviously leaving a legacy isn't easy. Like Truffaut left, this is Truffaut's legacy right here. It's an incredible thing, and it's kind of like a thought in our head that we can't match that legacy. We can't be that someone important. We don't have what it takes. And so like this activity was one of many that we want them to understand that it's how you present yourself every day, what you strive for, and what you believe in, and are you actually actualizing what you're visualizing? And so trying to keep carrying things on forward. Hope you're still with me and not too distracted by the presentation and slideshow. But yeah, so one of the big talks we had that day was goal setting. And as we're in a new resolution, I'm sure everyone can relate here that we all set goals, or we try to set goals. Sometimes we try less than other years because we kind of give up on the fact that if we failed so many times, there's no point. And we kind of narrow it down to finding your why, finding your purpose. And if you can't find your why for what you do, like if you're in this church just to please your parents, for example, is like a big one I feel for many second generation here. If you're not here for yourself, if you're not here to find your own faith and individualize your own faith, what's the purpose? If you're just pleasing your parents your whole life, or you're just pleasing someone else your whole life, you're not going to really be strong for that. You're never going to be able to fight for that when it comes down to all the arguments that happen. And yeah, so that's what we really boiled down to, like kind of coming into New Year, like finding the reason for what you're doing, what your goal is. If you can't find your why, there's no purpose to it. And yeah, so sorry, I might be taking a little longer to talk, but so when we really established finding the why, the next thing we kind of talked about was a big part of what we talked about was your family. And family is always a big topic in the workshop, because we all are not good at connecting with family. Everyone's family has their problems, one way or another. And it really showed when we had talks on being a supporting family and finding supporting family. And one particular discussion, especially in my team personally, it was very difficult to have this discussion because everyone was very emotional, and it just took one person to be very emotional for it to really click for everyone else how they're not trying enough for their family, or how they feel they're not getting enough love from their family. And this lack of love in family is really a major issue, and it's something that many kids can never talk about it because they're not have a comfortable relationship with their parents, or they don't have a comfortable relationship with anyone. Like they don't have a close friend to talk to about it. They just have all these surface level friends. And so having that conversation was really a breakthrough for my team. It was very, like, I was dying. I was like breaking down everything. Like I couldn't even talk really. But anyways, family is always like a big topic, and I just want to really stress that it's important for each and every person here to take the first step to reach out to their kids or reach out to their parents, because if you never do, you're never gonna understand their hearts. If you're not willing to be able to be vulnerable and open yourself to support, you're never gonna understand what your family really is going through. And just gonna fast forward. So these activities, June and Yeshan, they're gonna be the topics today. Sorry, ruined the surprise. But anyway, so there's two big activities we had to close the year. We had two breakthrough activities, not just one, two. One of them was Touch Someone Who, and I kind of introduced this activity. I actually introduced both breakthrough activities, kind of crazy. But anyway, so the Touch Someone activity is a way, kind of like how we're awkward in our families, like maybe we're not really good at displaying our love, showing our love, is, so like a big, sorry I'm like all over the place, but like a big way to express yourself is actually through touch. And this Touch Someone activity is a way we can express one of our major love languages of touch that we're lacking of. We're lacking because either we're awkward on people because we don't want to get in relationships, because we're saving ourselves, or we're not comfortable like feeling that warmth, feeling that love. And this activity is really taught me, it's always been teaching me, like I've done this a couple of times before, that we have an infinite amount of potential to receive love and give love. It's not something we should limit. It's something you can open yourself to. It's taking the first step of making yourself vulnerable and accepting it. And then the last activity we did was kind of really defining the theme of the workshop, My Legacy. It was take a stand, leave a legacy. And many people kind of know it as coming back to God. And it's because we made these mantras early in the year. Like mine was, give to get the gift of love. And it's just like a mantra that really kicks in with you, and really only you can fully understand the meaning of it. And so all these kids had to play at the end of a room, point A to point B, and they had to reach their mantra, reach their goal that they're fighting for, and get past 3 blockers that they were closest to, people they chose on their own. And each blocker represented a fear or an obstacle in their life that they relate with. So my example was like, they're not going to care enough. Like, I feel like I can't hold on to genuine relationships because I feel like all my friends are surface level. Like, I don't feel like I can connect personally. Like, I don't feel like I have anyone to really call, like my best friend, or like someone to really relate with and fully like convey myself to. So like, they had each obstacle, they had like a specific meaning behind it. And these obstacles' jobs were to put them down, like shut this person down from getting their mantra, getting their goal. And they would criticize them, they would shout at them that you can't do it, that you're never gonna be anyone in life, or you're always gonna fear rejection. Whatever their specific blocker was, they refuse them. But in the light of the tunnel, they had a God, so they could choose anyone to be their God that they felt understood them the most, or they felt could really support them the most, or has been supporting them the most. And that God was fighting through hell to really get them to that place, to get them to their mantra, to their goal for the new year. And it was a lot of shouting. It went on for like 3 hours till 2 a.m. We missed the bonfire for the New Year's. And yeah, it was very, very emotional. Some people took over 10 minutes to get to the point to point B because a lot of dragging behind and crazy. It was very physical. And yeah, so kind of want to wrap things up with the kids. Really, they worked very, very hard to find what the importance of having a legacy is, and how important like leaders, true father, true mother are today, and what they're doing to leave their impact in everyone's life around